So today is super special. We're talking all about our newest book, Phebee, Sprinkle, and the Underwater Kingdom. And how exciting! This is going to be an interview with the author and illustrator himself, Christopher Zajac. So I'm going to let you guys say hello to Chris. Let me move on to the side.
Hello, everybody. It's so exciting to be here today, among other days, because we have a lot of cool new things to show you guys. So I don't know how many of you have been following us lately, and yes, you're probably going to have to tilt your screen as we are broadcasting wide today so that we can upload these videos in a wide format to show you a little bit more about what's going on here. So as you know, I've been talking about the new book now for about a month, and we are so happy with the book and our sales for the book. This is the new hardcover of Phebee, Sprinkle, and the Underwater Kingdom. It is 167 pages,
I believe, yes.
and it's just beautiful. It's a storybook, yes. It's also kind of a picture book. There's tons of colorful, bright, vibrant illustrations, and we'll go through some of those today, and I'll show you a couple of different things. But the exciting stuff had just come in the last couple days. So as you know, we've been selling our books, our hardcover, paperback, coloring books, and our other stories. This is our 5th book in the series, but we recently just got a couple of new goodies in. And one of those just came in today. So I'm just going to kind of crawl up in here and show you guys our new Stanley inspired cups. These are Stanley styled cups. They're not actually Stanley cups, with our logo of the book right on the front. And this beautiful blue to pink gradient. So it has a nice weight to it. And on the back is the logo for our book as well, the title logo of Phebee, Sprinkle, and the Underwater Kingdom. These are beautiful, and they are bright, and they are just gorgeous. And they're going to retail about $45, just so you know. And we also have a character cup as well, where we have 2 mermaids. One is Valeria, that's this one here, and the other is Triquetra, which is on this side, and they are mermaid warriors. And this one has a beautiful gradient cup with a green into blue. So we are so excited to share these with you guys, and there will be more to come. The other thing is our new lenticular book covers. Bookmarks, I'm sorry.
There you go.
So these are so cool. They're about 3 inches by about 8 inches. So they're quite thick. They're quite large, because this book is actually very large. Put it up next to the book. And this one, like I said, so I've got 2 designs here. One is Shredder. Is that the one you have?
Yes.
And then we also have Phebee and Athena swimming along. Phebee and Sprinkle in her orange globe, and you can actually see the motion in the lenticular. This one here is a 2-photo lenticular where you actually see Shredder getting captured and then breaking free from this magical lasso that's around him. So these are really cool. All you have to do is tilt to left and right to see the motion. And on the back, we have our logos, beautiful logos, as well as some information on the bottom.
And who created these fantastic bookmarks?
I designed them. They are taken from the actual illustrations from the book and just composited with our logo. And we got them from Eric, at Flow Motion Photos. So he does an awesome job, by the way. It's where we got all of our lenticular magnets from. And we had some really cool ones that are in the works. I can't wait to show you. Those should be arriving in the next week or so. So we're so excited. We got the bookmarks. We've got the Stanley cups. We've got our lenticular refrigerator magnets. These are mostly 5x7s. And these are really cool because they're literally 3D, and you don't even have to really move them. They just pop right out in front of you. And they are awesome. This is one of my favorites, of course, which is the Underwater Kingdom battle. The other exciting news is we will now be creating our t-shirts. So within the next couple of days, we will have a couple of brand new t-shirts to show you that will be available. We'll try to get those on the website as soon as we can. And one last thing, if you can tilt the camera over, we also have a surprise for anybody that likes our cardboard standees, as we now have a full-size Shredder. King Shredder himself is tall, he's big, he's menacing, and I just love the way he looks. He looks so cool. And we were fortunate enough to get him in this week, and he looks great next to the plushy Shredders on display and in the boxes and with that whole setup. So I am super, super happy to have him. And I just wish we had a big enough area to show you guys everything
at one time,
at once. And eventually we will, or when you come out. If anybody comes out to see our local shows, you'll see everything in our booths. Which is really cool because we've got a lot to show you guys. We have done these, we've shown these in our lives. These are metallic stickers. They're like chrome stickers. So they have a really beautiful sheen to them. And they're not holographic, but the paper that they're printed on is a holographic style paper. So it has a really, really nice look to it. Very rich, very shiny. And they just have a beautiful, beautiful look to them. That's the one on the lenticular bookmark. And then, of course, you have Servion here, and he's standing next to me here in that same exact pose.
So how long did the book take?
So from start to finish, probably about 7 months, because there was some initial conceptual designs, which I'll try to show in the edited version of this video for those of you that can't catch it here. And so I started with conceptual designs back in October of 25. So definitely a while ago. And I wrapped up production on the book itself. I'm going to say it was mid-May or late May. So really not even a month ago, we wrapped it up. And we literally had to do a couple of revisions. It's been resubmitted. This is our final print copy, which is absolutely gorgeous. And again, just before she gets to ask you a couple questions, I just want to give you a little sneak peek. So on the inside, it's, again, as she said, everything's hand-drawn, beautifully illustrated, and very colorful and vibrant. And on the pages where you see the words and the font itself, you're going to see like a background of bubbles. So it's going to seem like the whole book is kind of immersing you. This mainly is an adventure about Phebee and Sprinkle going down to try to find her missing necklace that basically fell off of her neck during a boat trip with her family. And it's quite cool. So even though it's 167 pages long, it's not that long of a story. It's a simple story. It's fun. It's definitely got action, some suspense, and it's just, again, I poured my heart and soul into this book, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. And the story's solid. Phoebe's crafted it into a beautiful, great story that's really great for all ages. It's designed for kids 6 and up, as there may be some seriousness to some of it, and a couple of images like Shredder himself that may be considered a little scary for the real young ones.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Will you be sharing any behind the scenes secrets with the
Absolutely
audience tonight?
Some of them have already been documented. We do have a documentary on YouTube. It kind of explains some of the behind the scenes secrets. But if I had to share something that maybe wasn't in that particular doc, I'd probably mention kind of some of the things that inspired me with these particular characters. So, as you know, from anybody that's been following us, this underwater adventure kind of features 2 factions: the Aquarians, which are mermaids, and the Sharkians, which are a shark hybrid. They're kind of half shark, half human. And to design these characters, I really wanted to take inspiration from older cartoons, from older characters from the 70s and 80s. This whole story takes place in 1980. So these characters have sort of a superhero-esque quality to them. A lot of them are very muscular. And what I like about these characters is they're human characters on their land, and they live within a city that's kind of guarded by like a giant force field. And they have legs and all when they're on their land. But as soon as they jump into the water to swim, they do automatically turn into mermaids, which I always like that quality. And it's been done in a couple of different movies and things like that. And with Shredder, which is of course the villain of the book, his inspiration came in various stages. As the first couple of designs of Shredder did not look solid. It didn't look like this, and I'll try to show you a picture of what he originally looked like. But we built upon him, and I built upon him, gave him the glowing eyes, as everybody down in this under the water in the Underwater Kingdom. The main characters have glowing eyes, which I always thought that was kind of cool. And of course, he stands out a little bit more because he's a little larger and he has the gold features, on his medallion and his on his crown. And his tongue was actually inspired from a dragon's tongue. So I wanted to create something sort of reptilian almost about the tongue. I just wanted it to be kind of scary. Of course, I wanted his teeth to be very sharp, and the middle tooth to be the biggest tooth and the sharpest tooth. It just looked like one of those just vicious types of mouths that would be very intimidating for his prey. So that is definitely a secret that was not in the doc. So sea life has always been intriguing to me. Went snorkeling a couple of times when I was younger and saw the beauty of the reef and all the fish that would swim around it. And it's definitely tranquil and it's mesmerizing.
Did you always know that you were going to have Sharkians be part of this book?
That's a great question. So, kind of. So, when I was first conceiving of this story, and I was coming up with the characters, I did come up with the Aquarians, the good guys first, and I had to kind of figure out how I was going to do that. So I made it sort of a royal type society where you have a king and a queen and a princess. And a royal guard, and then you have all the citizens of Aquarian. The idea was early that I needed a villainous a society that was going to be kind of vicious, but also one that had emotions and feelings as to why they want to take over the Underwater Kingdom. Well, hello, Phoebe Riffin.
Hello.
Well, we're blessed to do this together because we don't always get a chance to do these together.
Yes, lately we haven't been having the same days off, so it's been really difficult in finding a time. So we're really excited that today we get to sit down together and do this interview.
Yep.
And like I said before in other lives and other videos on YouTube, on TikTok, I am so extremely excited and so proud of Christopher Zajac. Again, this is his first book that he's done on his own. He's illustrated on his own. He's illustrated all the other books as well. But this is the first time he's getting author rights, which is so exciting to see. I mean, who doesn't love to see someone level up, you know?
And a story come to life, right? Mm-hmm. That I conceived of in my head. Obviously needed a little bit of help, but yeah, it's been an exciting journey, and the very first time in my life I've done it.
Really proud of you.
Yeah.
All right. So which character came first?
So if I'm not mistaken, I think maybe King Bravian came first. From the preliminary designs, I think I came up with the King and Queen absolutely first, and then their royal guard, which included Servion, which was sort of a spin-off character from the royal guard. He's in more of a blue fatigue, whereas the others are more of a teal. But that's kind of how you tell them apart in the book.
So, was there a scene that changed during production? Because we know that happens a lot when it comes to movies, stories. Did anything change?
Many things changed. So even some of the parts of the initial story changed. So much, in fact, at some point that poor Phebee, when she was editing this, we really had to go over and kind of type it all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
I had to kind of not rewrite it, but just change things in different scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So some things had to fit a little earlier and a little later. It was kind of like putting together a puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And we also wanted to make sure the narrative was easy to understand and cohesive so that anybody picking it up and reading it could kind of get an idea of exactly where we were going with this.
Mm-hmm.
So there were many revisions. I would say if I had to pick one thing out, it was probably some of the ending maybe was extended a little bit from what we first conceived. It was probably only going to be one illustration, I think turned into 3 or 4
Mm-hmm.
in the ending.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a lot of fun. In fact, the ending of this book is so true to my heart because it kind of encapsulates Phoebe's relationship with her sister, the fact that she's a much braver, more protective character, and that she literally is just happy to be her big sister and proud to be her big sister. And to see the two of them playing on the beach at the end is it's kind of heartwarming,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of gets to me. And it's a beautiful, beautiful illustration. The beach, it's just so yeah. So that changed a little bit from the original draft.
So, are there any characters in this particular book that you feel that you are most like?
Oh boy. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. So, and it's funny that you asked that because I would say there's probably a little bit of each of the characters from different stages of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was young, I was so scared of everything. I was scared to go swimming, even especially in the ocean. But I think I was a little more fearless back then than I am now. Knowing there's sharks and stuff, like real sharks.
Yeah.
And not Jaws. But yeah, but I also there were times where I definitely had to be brave. I had to be very independent when I was young. So a lot of the things that I had in my own childhood, and I know Phebee has, I tried to inject in the characters.
Okay. What character was the hardest to draw?
Oh boy, another hard one. Boy, you're coming up with all the hard ones today.
Mm-hmm.
So that's tough. Again, they were all complex in their own right, and I had to actually do revisions of almost all of them. So I'll try to show you guys what they looked like in the beginning versus what they look like now, because they do look slightly different. There were some revisions. I had to do a few things to kind of streamline them, to make them look a little bit more heroic or a little beefier at times, or shredder. So if I had to choose one, I'd have to say, Athena. And she has a lot of detail in her, but also to get her expressions and her actions right were key to this story.
You're saying which page took the longest? And you know what's really crazy for me? I can't remember which page took you the longest.
I'll show you the very first one. And it's so detailed. And everything was hand drawn, including the fish, including the bubbles.
Yes.
I mean, everything, the coral, all the different sea life, the city. And originally, it's funny because originally this illustration was actually going to be the cover of the book.
Mm-hmm.
This part was going to be the front, and then this part was going to be the back cover. And I didn't mind the idea, but I wanted the look of this cover to look more adventurous, like a movie poster.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I came up with this design. So yeah, I would say either that picture or the war picture were probably the most labor intensive. Everything was hand drawn.
For you guys watching, I have a question for you. How long do you think it took Chris to illustrate one page?
Oof.
And that's just for you guys to think about. Maybe we'll do a giveaway if someone comes closest to how long they think a page took for him to illustrate.
Yeah, because some of them obviously took a little longer than others.
Mm-hmm.
but they all took a long time because they all you have to remember, it's not like you just do it and you're done with it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to look at it, edit it, look at it some more, make some revisions, make some sizing changes, and then when it gets published, you still may have to make revisions and edit changes.
So I have a question.
Kind of never ending.
So for Shredder,
Yeah.
was he always meant to be scary?
So yeah, he was. He was always the reason I made these characters Sharkians is so that was the intimidation factor, so that you can see that they were brutal, they were big, and they had super sharp features. Their claws were sharp teeth. They have sharp fins. And even their tails are sharp. So that's their whole body is their weapon. Mm-hmm. Now, some of them do have swords and things like that, very similar to the Aquarians. Weapons might have been from past wars and stuff that they've had. And that's what's fun about imagining these characters in different scenarios.
All right. Is Shredder misunderstood? Would you say that he's misunderstood?
A little.
Because in the story, not going to spoil anything, but there's something that's said in the story, in the book, that I myself was wondering, is he just misunderstood or is he really a villain?
Yeah. Both. So he's power hungry. He's definitely power hungry. He's definitely a villain. But he also had the reason he's a villain is I think is his species were probably treated sort of like a lower class civilization of the Underwater Kindom, as they weren't like a regal society like the Aquarians. They were more vicious nomads. They kind of scavengers, and even though they had a little bit of a hierarchy and they live in a lair, you can just tell they're not in the same league. It's kind of like dark and light. So and yeah, I think part of him is just jealous of the Aquarians. So yeah.
Okay. So who would win in a race without spoiling anything?
Well, I'll tell you, the Sharkians are actually very fast. At least they were in my head. I never really did illustrate that in the book as just how fast they are. But you're going to wonder in like a couple of the scenes, if you're reading it, how Shredder gets from one place to the other very quickly. It's because he's super fast. Sharks in general can swim very, very quickly. But I would say in the story, at least in the first half of it, you definitely think Servion is the fastest. But you never know. There may be somebody else with fastest.
The question is, which page are you proudest of? I do want to say that there is an illustration in this book that for some reason I love it so much. And it's one of the top images for me.
Which one?
And I think it's because the moment he showed it to me, I just felt like it was such a powerful scene. This is my favorite. And I'm proud of every illustration Chris does. But this is my favorite illustration because the moment...
It's on your shirt.
Yes. The moment he sent it to me, I just was in love with it. And I thought it was such a powerful scene.
You might not be able to notice it in this illustration, but right there in the middle in the background, there is a weird round shape that you can actually see, like their panels. You can see the water through it, which I also love. That was like reminding me of like an aquarium, aquarium built into the background. And that shape was from a movie reel. It was from a metal 16 millimeter movie reel. So you just never know where your inspiration can lead you. You can sometimes just have fun with different shapes and see what you come up with. But that was one of the hardest ones, as was the one that Phoebe just showed you.
All right. So which scene almost got cut out, if there were any?
Oh gosh. There was a scene at the end that got cut out. And I thought at this point we'd had so many illustrations, but there was a scene that got cut out that would have shown more of the aquarium people, as you were going to see the audience looking at the heroes on stage. And so some of those designs or images in my head kind of got cut out because I thought maybe we were going a little bit too far at the end, and I wanted to kind of end the story and take her back home. So, but yeah, some of that stuff I still think about, and I'm like, oh gosh, maybe one day I'll do it and I'll reinsert it. Possibly, no guarantees there, because I like the way the story flows so much. I don't want to ruin anything the way it is.
Yes. Okay. Well, one thing I do want to say, it's not a question here, but I want to say this to anyone else who wants to go on a journey of starting a book writing or anything like that. I was very, very proud of our first book the very first time we published it, because it was something, first of all, unfamiliar territory to both of us.
Never did it.
So I was just proud that we did the first book, right? But what I love is, again, that Chris and I went back. We're like, is this really what we want people to see? Do we want it to be better? We're trying to, deliver a message, and we want it in the best package,
Yes.
So I'm just so glad that we took the time to keep going back and learning, because this has been a learning journey. It's going to continue being a learning journey.
Yeah.
There are things that I've learned that I wish that I knew in the beginning, but it's okay. Now I know them now. And there's things that Chris didn't know in the beginning. Now he knows it now. So it's really, really cool.
I still want to know.
Yeah. And there's so much more to learn, and it's so exciting, especially when it's something that's yours. And again, we say this all the time. None of these things are created. The story, the characters are not created with AI.
Right.
And we feel that's very important to say and for everyone to know.
That's why it takes so long.
Yes. I use AI for creating motion for the characters sometimes.
For marketing and posting videos.
I'm not too proud about that, because I do understand everything that comes with that, especially with real artists.
Yes.
I don't want to take anything away, any jobs from anyone. Chris and I, we are looking for someone that can help us in that department, with the marketing department
and animations,
which I will
start to learn.
Yes, he's going to start to learn, which I think will be really, really cool.
Yes.
But we really do need more help. We're doing this all on our own, and it does get overwhelming sometimes, especially because we both work full-time jobs. It can get a little bit overwhelming.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So we need a team. So once we post this video, I need everybody that's watching to comment your favorite underwater creature to enter this giveaway. Now, the giveaway is something pretty simple, but it's something that represents our company and our books, our series. So it will either be a signed book, it could be a coloring page, a sticker pack, a plush discount, or a bookmark, whichever one you choose if you are announced as the winner. So I just wanted to add that in there.
Now, would you clarify this creature has to be something from our books, or just any sea creature?
Any sea creature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any sea creature. Is there anything else you want to add?
I think we covered it all today.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching and supporting us. Thank you for supporting our dreams. Thank you for supporting Phebeezbookz. We appreciate every single one of you, and we love you all.
Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.